The Bah Ghoulie Show is brought to you by OTR Halloween Holidays.
Good evening, friends of the creaking door. This is your host to welcome you into the Inner Sanctum for another visit with your favorite character. We're back again with a familiar subject, murder. Ever want to find out how scared you can get? Well, suppose you hang around for a while. And when the show's over, I'll cut you down. All right. Suppose we get down to brass tacks. And I do mean the ones that go around the edge of a coffin. In a tiny cottage lost in a wild, desolate section of rural New England, Ellen Richards sits in a chair, listening. Approaching 60, white-haired, with eyes that dance nervously in the firelight, she listens. She hears the winds weeping and moaning, grim heralds of the bleak winter. But she listens for something else.
Gregory? Is it you? Where are you? Upstairs? Gregory? Oh, it's nonsense, that's all. It's nonsense. It's just because I'm alone. Gregory! You wouldn't do this to me if I weren't alone. Hello, operator. Hello, what's the matter with you?
Number, please.
Hello, operator. I want you to ring my nephew, Leslie Richards. Tell him to come home at once.
Number, please.
My nephew, Leslie, I told you. What's the matter with you? Don't you understand? You must hurry.
I beg your pardon. What number do you wish to call?
Number. Oh, he's in town somewhere. The depot. Call him at the depot. Oh, don't you understand? I hear the boots. Those heavy, hobnail boots. And the cane tapping. It's my husband. He's coming up out of the cellar step by step. And he's been dead for 5 years. And now he's on the landing. And now he's opening the door. And now...
Number, please.
Hello, Auntie.
Oh, Leslie, you darling, darling boy. Oh, it's you. It's you. And not the others.
Really, Auntie, I don't quite understand.
You dear boy, you must forgive me. I'm hysterical. Just be patient with me. I'll be all right in a minute.
What's wrong? What happened?
Let me hold your hand. Oh, just knowing that you're here makes me feel better already. I thought I'd go out of my mind.
You poor darling. Now, if you'll only tell me what...
Wait a moment. Do you hear anything?
Just the wind?
That's all?
That's all.
Oh, Leslie, you mustn't leave me alone ever again. I simply can't bear to be alone.
But I just drove to the station to get Miss Morrow. Darling, you're in a terrible state. You really must sit down. I'll get you.
No. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. Where's Miss Morrow now?
She went through the side entrance in her room, I guess.
I think I'm going to discharge that girl.
Why?
Oh, I don't know. I feel she doesn't belong here. I don't like strangers about.
Really, Auntie, you're being silly. You can't bear being alone, and now you want to discharge your companion.
Well, you're here now.
But I can't be with you all the time.
Leslie.
But you almost never leave the house, and someone must go out to get things done once in a while.
Oh, yes, I suppose you're right.
And it won't do you a bit of harm to go out once in a while, too. The movies in town, or maybe New York for the theater.
No.
But, Ellen...
Don't you dare suggest that again. You must never suggest that again, do you hear?
But why? Why must you stay here locked up in this house?
Because ever since my husband disappeared, I vowed... Oh, what's the use? You wouldn't understand.
I think I would.
Oh, no. You're young and handsome and charming, and there's no use troubling you with all that. There. I feel ever so much better already. No, dear Leslie, you don't know what you've done for me.
Really?
It was horrible living here with just Miss Morrow until you were sweet enough to come and stay with a poor, lonely old lady. I know it must be trying for you.
It's really lots of fun. I'm having a fine time. And that talk of your being an old lady is just nonsense. Why, if Uncle Gregory were here and could see you now, he'd fall in love and marry you all over again.
Why do you say that?
Just to make you laugh.
Oh. Oh, you're very flattering.
See, you're laughing. That's better.
Leslie, you won't go away, ever, will you?
What an idea.
You're my only living relative. I'll remember your kindness when I'm gone. You'll be wealthy, very wealthy.
Here, now, what kind of talk is this when you're gone, indeed? Why, we're going to have grand times here forever and ever. Now, you go to bed and sleep away all that foolishness. And here's a kiss for a pleasant dream.
Oh, you silly, silly boy. Well, say good night to Miss Morrow for me. I'm too tired to wait.
Good night. Barbara?
Come in.
Barbara.
Don't tell me about it. Don't say anything. Just kiss me and hold me tight.
Oh, dearest.
Oh, Leslie. I could hardly bring myself to come back here tonight. She's so hateful and cruel.
Barbara, don't. She may hear you.
I'm sorry, but how much more of this do you think I can stand? This house will drive me as mad as she is.
Please, dearest.
All right. It all seems so senseless. You say you love me, and yet...
You know I haven't any money, but I'll get some. I'll get a great deal, and as soon as I do...
What I want to know is when. When?
Tonight, perhaps.
Gregory? No, go away. Leslie, come here at once. Leslie!
Annie, I heard you calling. What is it?
Listen. Do you hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, thank heaven I'm not the only one.
What is it?
Gregory.
Oh, no, Annie.
I know it. That's the way he used to walk around the house, chatting with his cane.
No, that's not.
But I know. I heard it before while I was alone. He's come back somehow. Oh, Leslie, he's come back.
Then why should he do this? If it's Uncle Gregory come back, why, he'd come right in the front door.
But don't you see he can't? He's been dead these 5 years.
Dead. You told me he disappeared.
I know. I didn't want to shock you. Oh, Leslie, how much can I trust you?
Trust me? Why, Auntie, you know there isn't anything I wouldn't do for you.
Anna, listen. Where's it coming from?
The living room.
Give me my robe.
Yeah. But I don't see why you must get out of bed.
I must know about this. I can't leave this house, Leslie, and if he's here...
Why can't you leave it? You can sell it and go away.
You don't understand. Yes, the living room. We're going in there. I'm not afraid to face anything if you're with me. Now, come.
Very well.
Do you see anything?
There's nothing in the corridor.
But I can hear it. It's closer.
There's the living room. Not a soul there.
Not so.
Why'd you pick up that fireplace iron?
You'll know in a moment. Can you move the piano?
These old uprights are pretty heavy, but I think I can do it. There.
Get that little shovel from the fireplace. Hurry.
What's that? I don't understand. What are you doing there? What is it? Some kind of secret trapdoor in the floor you're trying to move with that iron?
Yes, it's the floor.
Oh, here, let me do it.
All right.
I think I have it now. There's nothing but dirt under there.
Use the shovel.
Very well.
Leslie, I don't know. Listen. The tapping is stopped.
Yes.
Why?
Perhaps this is why. Perhaps he wanted me to find his body.
He's still there?
Look.
Gregory!
So that's why you never left this house, isn't it? He was lying here all this time. Lying here where you buried him. After you murdered him. Isn't that so, Aunt Helen?
Now, who is bleeding last?
Oh, yes.
Auntie Ellen, the old darling, just had her nephew dig up her husband from under the floor. If you think she kept him there to make him stay home night, you're wrong. He'd been murdered. And Auntie Ellen's nephew just accused her of killing him.
Yes. Yes, I killed him. Leslie, you mustn't tell anybody. I know you won't tell. Oh, it's been horrible living all these years with him right in the same house. I could never leave. Someone might find him, you see. And every time I heard a noise in the house, oh, it was frightful.
I should think so.
That's why I sent for you. I couldn't bear it alone. Now you know my secret, and you will help me.
Will I?
Of course, dear Leslie. I know you will, and... Won't you? Oh, it's Miss Morrow. Don't let her
Quite
scream.
all right, Auntie Ellen. Come in, Barbara.
No, you can't.
I've heard everything, Mrs. Richards. And I know everything.
You know? You and Leslie. It was you who made those noises, that tapping. It didn't start until after you came.
Yes, Auntie Ellen.
You horrid boy. Why did you? How could you do this to me after everything I've done for you? I thought you loved me. I thought...
Sit down.
No, I will not. Leslie!
Sit down, I said. Barbara, get a checkbook.
Okay. What are you going to do?
Dear Auntie Ellen, you are going to write a check for $50,000.
For you?
For me.
Here's a book and a pen.
I see it all now. What a fool I've been, taking the two of you into my home, and now you do this to me just to get my money.
You killed him for that money. You have no right to talk.
You made him do this. Leslie's a good boy. You found out about this, and you put him up to it. I'm going to call the police. You're a little thief.
You're a murderer, Auntie Ellen. You won't call any police. In fact, you'll tell no one. And you'll write that check now. You understand?
Leslie? Yes. You're quite right. I'm not in a very good position, am I? You hurt me deeply, Leslie. After I trusted you, after I...
Leslie, what happened to her? What's the matter?
I don't know. She just stood up and collapsed. Auntie Ellen.
Is she dead?
No, she's still breathing. But she's paralyzed, stiff as a board. Barbara, call a doctor. I'll fix that floor and push the piano back.
You think it's safe?
Absolutely. She won't say a word if she comes out of this. And if she does tell about the check, who will believe her? It'll be our word against the murderers. Come on, Barbara. We've got to get her well enough to write that check.
Mrs. Richards, if you can understand what I'm saying, blink your eyes. Ah, thank you.
Well, Dr. Walsh?
Well, I can't give you a final opinion yet, young man. She seems to know what we're saying.
Was it a stroke?
Possibly. We won't know until I can take some x-rays. It may be simple hysterical paralysis.
Doctor, I'd like to know if there's any danger.
Danger? Yes and no. Patients have sometimes lived for years after a stroke. I'm going to call in a specialist for consultation. And I'll be back in the morning with X-ray equipment. Meanwhile, don't move her from that chair.
Yes, Dr. Ward. It was very kind of you to come so quickly.
Mrs. Richards is an old friend of mine. Call me at once if she seems to get worse.
I certainly will. Good night.
Good night.
Leslie.
Oh, rotten luck, isn't it? Just when we had... Hey, look. She seems to be smiling.
Now be careful. She can understand everything you say.
I know. And let her. Let her. You won't get away with it, Auntie. We still have you, you know. The will. You forgot about that will. You can't make a new one now. You can't write. And we know your secret. Yes, Auntie, we still have you.
No, Leslie. She has us.
What are you talking about?
You heard what the doctor said. It may be years.
We can wait.
Can we? Wait here, taking care of her, waiting for her to die? You imagine what that'll be like? Well, maybe you can wait. I can't.
Barbara, you mustn't.
What's the use, Leslie? We waited all this time, and you see what happened. We're worse off than we were before.
No, Barbara, you mustn't lose your head. There may be something we can do.
What can we do?
We can...
Yes, Leslie?
She got away with it. Why can't we?
Murder.
Yes. I've even thought of a plan.
Have you?
We can both be away, far away from here in South America, perhaps, when this house can catch fire. An invalid unable to move, it can be arranged, you know.
Yes. Yes, it can be arranged. But are you sure of this will?
Certainly. She told me about it a dozen times.
Have you seen it?
No, but I
Maybe
know.
you can't believe what she tells you. You better look. You must be sure of all this.
You're quite right. I'm almost certain the will is in her room. I'll find it. You'll see that I'm right.
Did you say something, Mrs. Richards? I thought I heard you say something. Why are you looking at me that way? Mrs. Richards, I'm not afraid. I don't care if you heard everything. I'm not afraid of you anymore. You and your orders. Nothing I did was ever good enough for you, was it? Always telling me I was too common, too cheap for you. Well, I found out what you were tonight. And stop your staring at me. You want to know something, Mrs. Richards? He didn't figure this out himself. I was the one who was smart enough for that. I kept wondering why you never left this house. Why your husband disappeared. And I told Leslie. You stop your staring at me!
Barbara, what is it? I heard you scream.
It's nothing. Nothing at all. Have you found it?
No, not yet, but it's around somewhere. I'm sure of it. Do you want it?
No.
I'll find it in a minute, I'm sure.
Mrs. Richards. The chair. The chair has moved. You moved it while my back was turned while I was talking to Leslie, didn't you? Didn't you? The andiron from the fireplace. There a minute ago. Did you take it? Did you? Near enough to No! Don't!
Barbara, I found it. She left me everything. Barbara, what happened to you? Auntie Ellen, where are you?
I'm standing behind you, Leslie.
What?
Don't move.
But Barbara...
She's dead. I killed her. I have the andiron here in my hand. Don't move.
Auntie, now please.
Stay on your knees. Just where you are.
Very well. If you wish. But...
You were very anxious to find out what happened to my husband. Now you shall know everything. In fact, you shall know precisely because the same thing is going to happen to you. You see, I used this very same instrument, this poker. You and she will share his grave.
It's all some silly joke, isn't it? You can't do this to me. You know that I love you.
Don't move.
But don't you see, Auntie? For heaven's sake, put that thing down. You don't know what you're doing. Don't!
I'm sorry to disturb you, Dr. Walsh. This is Ellen Richards.
Ellen Richards?
I knew you'd be surprised, but I've fully recovered. You were quite right when you thought it was hysterical paralysis.
Well, I thought so all along, but naturally I wouldn't venture an opinion without an expert. But why did it happen?
Oh, it was a silly thing, I suppose, but my nephew Leslie told me he was going to marry Miss Morrow. In fact, they planned to elope.
And that was the shock that brought it on?
Yes, Dr. Walsh. I suppose I let myself care for my nephew more than I should.
Yes, I understand.
But I'm quite over it now. I sent them on with my blessing. They drove into New York, and they're sailing for South America in a few days. So you needn't come tomorrow evening.
All right, Ellen. But your nerves must be in bad shape. You better let me give you a checkup.
Very well, Doctor. I'll come to your house the day after tomorrow. Good night.
Good night. Ah, there, Ellen. That completes my checkup.
And what's the verdict?
You've got a constitution like iron. You'll live to at least 110. Oh, but, Ellen, you have to get out of your house.
No, now, don't go into that again, Dr. Walsh. When Gregory disappeared, I made up my mind I would never leave, and I mean to stick to that vow.
That's not what I meant, Ellen. Haven't you heard the news?
What news?
The new superhighway. It's going to be built right through your property. Your house is dead center of the roadway. They'll have to rip it down.
What? Well, they can't do it. I won't let them.
Well, there's no reason to be alarmed. You'll realize a handsome profit for your property.
When will these people be around? When are they coming?
Why, the surveyors are in the neighborhood now. They may be calling at your house today to examine the property and make an estimate of its value.
Today? Well, I must get back to the house immediately. I don't want them to come when I'm not there.
Oh, excuse me. Hello? Yes? Yes, one moment. It's for you, Ellen.
For me? Who is it?
Why, I believe the man said the state police. But what could they possibly want with you, Ellen?
Auntie Ellen's relatives and friends are now all stone cold dead in the parlor. She bashes nobody's head but her husband's, her nephews, and his girlfriend. And we leave this electric personality while she's on her way to becoming a short circuit. Of course, we don't want to alarm you, but crimes like these don't happen except to people like you and you. But not you. Well, friends, it's time once again to close that creaking door. Until next week at the same time, when we'll be back with a little hunk of horror. You'll be sure to listen, won't you? Until next week, then. Good night. Pleasant dreams.
Inner Sanctum has come to you through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
The power glove for your NES. Now you and the games are one. Power Glove. Everything else is child's play.
See The Power Glove in the hot new movie The Wizard, starring Fred Savage.
Transcribed.
The Mutual Broadcasting System presents The Mysterious Traveler. Written, produced, and directed by Robert A. Arthur and David Cogan, and starring one of radio's foremost actors, James Stevens, in The Haunted Trailer.
This is the Mysterious Traveler, inviting you to join me on another journey into the realm of the strange and the terrifying. I hope you will enjoy the trip, that it will thrill you a little and chill you a little. So settle back, get a good grip on your nerves, and be comfortable if you can, as we take a little cross-country trip in The Haunted Trailer. Before we begin, I have a question for you. Do you believe in ghosts? No? That's good. Then my story won't bother you in the least. So let me introduce Melvin McGraw, as nice a young man as you'll ever meet, in this world or the next. Melvin is very unhappy. He has a story he wants to get off his chest. All right, Melvin, tell us all about it. Maybe it'll buck up your spirits.
Spirits. Don't mention that word to me. What I could tell you about spirits. In fact, I'm going to. You are now listening to a desperate man. And yet, just 2 months ago, I was sitting on top of the world. I was heading for California in my coupe, pulling a brand new trailer. In California, I had a girl waiting for me. Her name was Louise, and we were going to be married. We were going to take a 2-week honeymoon trip in the trailer, then settle down in a little vine-covered cottage. But I haven't the heart to go into details. Just say that as I drove through the Catskills, I was happier than a lark. I'd made a late start, so I drove until well after dark. Then I found myself on an empty stretch of road in the mountains with a bad storm coming up. I didn't want to drive through a storm, so when I came to a tiny, dark railroad station, I pulled off the road beside it and made myself comfortable in my own trailer. In no time at all, I was asleep. But about midnight, a terrific clap of thunder woke me up. I sat up, bumped my head, and blinked. The storm was raging outside, and the trailer door had blown open. It was banging back and forth. I got up to close it, but before I reached it, it shut itself firmly. I was about to get back into my bunk when somewhere in the darkness a voice spoke.
Ah, now this is something like.
It was an odd, unearthly sort of voice, and at first I thought I'd just imagined it. Then it spoke again.
A house on wheels, furniture and everything. Some fun, eh, chum? They never had nothing like this when I was alive.
Then I realized what must have happened. I'd left the radio on, and I was hearing some late program. I reached over to click it off, but it was already off. Puzzled, I found the light switch and turned it. The trailer was empty, except for me. I was staring around in perplexity when I heard it again, that strange voice.
Over here, chum, in the easy chair. That's right. Now, can you see me?
Then I see him. I rubbed my eyes, then rubbed them again. There was something white and misty sitting in my easy chair. Something that grew more and more solid as I stared at it, until I could see it quite plainly. Like looking at a disreputable old man carved out of a chunk of London fog. It was... the only thing it could be was...
That's right, chum. I'm a ghost. My name is Spike Higgins. Pleased to meet you.
What do you mean you're a ghost? There's no such thing as a ghost.
Oh, no? Then listen to this. Oh! Did you ever hear a more ghostly groan than that? Or maybe you'd like to hear a banshee scream. You like it, chum? Every ghost can do it. Here, now I'll give you another demonstration. We call this one number 3B, the fatal warning. Are you ready? It'll curl your hair. Are you prepared to meet your fate? Beware. Beware.
Stop. Stop.
Well, I ain't even begun yet. I got a whole bag of ghostly tricks to try out. Why, it's years since I had a chance to use a single one of them. Hey, what about some invisible footsteps, eh? Hey, you see, I can do that without even stirring from this chair. And then there's the hollow knock on the front door. I'll demonstrate that, too. There. And now the door creaks open. Now, listen. See? Now, just suppose you was alone in a deserted house at night and you heard all them noises. What would you do, huh? I'm asking you, chum.
I'd run like the dickens.
Yeah, I bet you would. Anybody would. And now do you believe I'm a ghost? Or should I give you some more of my repertoire?
No. I'm convinced. You're a ghost.
Well, that's better. Now that we're acquainted, you can call me Spike. That's my name, Spike Higgins. Born March 28, 1888. Died April 15, 1930. Well done, thou good and faithful servant.
Oh, I certainly wish I could wake up. This dream I'm having is ghastly.
Not ghastly, ghostly. And you're not asleep. Hey, but speaking of sleeping, it's after midnight, and this is the first time I've been near a bed in more than 20 years. What do you say we turn in, man?
You mean you're suggesting you're going to sleep in my trailer?
Well, why not? That's what a trailer's for. A home away from home.
No. I won't stand for it. Now, get out. Why did you ever come in here in the first place?
Well, why did you stop at my territory? Answer me that, chum.
Don't call me chum. My name is Melvin.
If my name was Melvin, I'd rather be called chum. Okay, Melvin, you invited me in.
I did no such thing. I deny it.
Well, you stopped beside my railroad station, didn't you?
What do you mean, your railroad station?
That old station outside, I haunted.
A haunted railroad station? I never heard of such a thing.
Well, there's plenty you never heard of. Well, back in 1930, I was a bum, see. I rode the boxcars. Well, one night I was trying to get away from a railroad bull. Toughest railroad dick in the business. Name of Dan Bancher. Well, I slipped off the top of a boxcar just as we was passing his station, see? Well, so I got appointed resident ghost for 7 Pine Station. A real lousy break. Hasn't been anybody in the station after dark for 10 years. And then tonight you come along and park. Well, naturally, I invited myself in. Oh, that's some layout you got here.
Well, why did you stay if you disliked it so?
Had to. I was doomed never to leave. Punishment, you see.
You were doomed to stay here forever?
Like I said, never to leave. Why?
I'll show you, Spike. This is where you and I part company. I know you think I was dreaming, but I wasn't. I was sitting there in my trailer talking to the ghost of a very disreputable-looking hobo. And I saw that I had to take drastic action. Spike had said he was doomed to stay there forever. But I wasn't. I hurried out of my trailer, climbed into my coupe, started the motor, and pulled away from there. I didn't stop until I'd gone 20 miles and left Spike Higgins' ghost safely behind me. Then I found a spot off the road, stopped, and went back to my trailer, completely bushed. Oh, boy, now for some sleep. Oh, I'm dead.
Watch your language, Melvin. I'm dead, not you.
Spike.
Here I am, Melvin, in the other bunk.
No, you can't be. You said you were doomed to stay forever back at the railroad station.
Well, I said I was forbidden to leave. I didn't leave. You hauled me away in your trailer. So now the curse is broken. I can go any place I want.
Then go. Any place. I don't care where, as long as it's someplace else.
Oh, but I like it here, Melvin. Nice and cozy, good company, plenty of scenery. I tell you what I'll do. If looking at me bothers you, I'll merge. Then you won't be able to see me.
Merge with what?
Merge with the otherwhere. So long, chum. I mean, Melvin. So long.
He was gone. Except for me, the trailer was empty. Then I knew it had just been a dream. I took a stiff drink of scotch and tumbled into my bunk. Next morning, the sun was shining. I thought about Louise and cheered up. I made myself a cup of coffee and started out happy as a lark again. I stayed happy almost all day. Then, as it was getting on towards evening, a cold, clammy draft chilled the back of my neck, and...
Hello, Melvin. It's me, your old chum, Spike.
You're not my old chum, and where are you? I can't see you.
Well, give me time, Melvin, give me time. I've been merged with the otherwhere all night. I can't materialize again too fast or I'll strain my protoplasm. There, how's that?
You transparent monstrosity. I thought you were just a dream.
Oh, have I got to convince you all over again? Okay, I'll run through my repertory for you. The ghostly groan, the dying scream, the scream of the banshee, the hollow footsteps, the squeaking door.
No, anything but that. I couldn't stand it again.
Well, okay, then. Oh, but I left one out last night. The mournful howl of a dog. You know, in every ghost story, there's always a dog howling someplace. Well, that ain't a real dog. It's just a standard ghost sound effect. Yeah, like this, see?
Oh, no. My nerves can't stand anymore.
Melvin, chum, you're going to have to toughen up. You're going to be hearing a lot of them ghostly noises, and you just got to get used to them.
What do you mean?
Well, you and me are going to be seeing a lot of each other. I am now the resident ghost of this here trailer. Congratulations, Melvin. You own the first haunted trailer.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. Nobody ever heard of a haunted trailer.
Well, they're going to hear of this one. You'll be famous all over America.
Oh, that's absurd. A haunted trailer. Why not a haunted ferry boat, a haunted boxcar, or a haunted Pullman?
What, do you think there ain't? Why, there's a haunted ferry boat, makes the crossing at 125th Street every stormy night. And then there's a haunted boxcar. Never gets where it's going. Balamine rides it, name a boxcar Benson. And speaking of trains, didn't you never hear the Phantom Express?
The Phantom Express?
Yeah, it's an all-Pullman car job, and nobody rides it but hobos who've been given a reward, see? It only travels by twilight, and it goes 1,000 miles an hour. Always traveling, never stopping. That's heaven for us poor restless hobos.
Indeed.
Yeah, so what's so funny about a haunted trailer? Now I ask you.
Well, as I got underway again, I was worried. The idea of taking Louise for a honeymoon in a haunted trailer didn't appeal to me. I didn't think it would appeal to Louise either, especially since Spike Higgins seemed to be a ghost completely lacking in all delicate sensibilities. But I didn't have any idea of what to do about it. Not even the ghost of an idea. Presently, Spike oozed himself back into the trailer, and I kept on driving until almost 9 o'clock. Then I turned into a little motel and arranged to park overnight. I had some supper at a diner nearby and then went back to my trailer, hoping against hope that Spike would be gone. But he wasn't. The trailer was full of cigar smoke and the smell of whiskey. There was Spike sprawled out on my bunk, inhaling the smoke of a cigar that burned in the ashtray, and from time to time leaning over to sniff at an open bottle of scotch. And to make it worse, another phantasmal character, long and thin and disreputable looking, occupied the other bunk. They were two thoroughly intoxicated spirits.
Oh, many brave hearts lie asleep in the deep. So beware,
Spike, what is the meaning of this?
Oh, hello, Melvin. Hey, Melvin, I want you to meet an old pal of mine, Nitro Nelson.
Pleased to meet you, Melvin. I'd shake hands if I had any hands.
Spike, I asked you a question. What is the meaning of this?
Why, Melvin, we're just celebrating, that's all. I ain't seen Nitro for pretty near 25 years, so we're having a little fun. We're just a couple of high spirits. You get it? Huh?
Very funny. Well, get this Nitro ghost out of here at once. This is my trailer, and I don't want him here.
Yeah, sure, Melvin. It's your trailer, only I'm the resident ghost, see? I got full rights to extend hospitality to any other ghost, ghoul, phantasm, spirit, spook, boogeyman, werewolf, vampire, or poltergeist I want to. Look it up, the Spirit's Handbook, Section 7, Paragraph B.
Besides, Melvin, there's a lot worse things than me that Spike could have invited. You know, some of them werewolves now. Brother.
All right. Let's not talk about it. Just thinking of such things makes me nervous. But you'll have to stop singing. Suppose somebody heard you and came to investigate.
Oh, well, okay. And anyway, it's time to turn on the radio.
Turn on the radio? For what?
But to hear it, stupid. Let's see. Yeah, this ought to be the right station.
May I ask, merely out of morbid curiosity, what program a ghost would listen to?
Well, you don't have to ask. You'll hear it.
Inviting you to join me on another journey into the realm of the strange and the terrifying. I hope you will enjoy the trip, that it will thrill you a little and chill you a little. So settle back, get a good grip on your nerves, and be comfortable if you can. Mysterious Traveler. Oh, that's a pipperoo of a program.
Oh, no. Turn it off.
What's the matter? You don't like the Mysterious Traveler? All us ghosts listen to it.
Oh, I like it all right, but you don't expect me to listen to it with two ghosts right in the same room with me, do you?
Sometimes he even scares us. Okay, we'll turn it off.
Look, Spike.
Yeah, Melvin.
What'll you take to go away and leave me alone, both of you?
Oh, Melvin, you don't understand. I've took up my abode in this here trailer. I'm your ghost now. Your family ghost. Where thou ghost, I will ghost. Hey, you get it? Huh?
Then am I to understand you refuse to clear out?
And the answer to that, Melvin, is absolutely.
Well, in that case, I'm going to rent a cabin for the night. I couldn't possibly sleep in this trailer with you two hunks of animated fog.
Suit yourself, Melvin. Anyway, me and Spike got some practice in the dope. Okay, Spike, let's go. First, the mournful dog howl.
That night, I slept in a rented cabin. The next morning, I drove on westward with my two phantom passengers and tried to pretend they weren't there. I almost got used to them. I suppose a man can get used to anything, even to having a permanent cold chill running down his backbone. When we passed through Denver, Nitro Nelson dropped off, saying he wanted to haunt up some old pals of his, leaving me with Spike Higgins.
Well, Melvin, it's just you and me together now, just the two of us. Until you get married, that is, then there'll be the three of us.
I don't think Louise is going to like that.
Oh, sure she will. Anyway, I'm sticking around.
I hate to think what Louise will say when I tell her about it.
Hey, where are we going on our honeymoon? The three of us, I mean.
I figured on driving up to Oregon to see the mountains.
Oh, that's good. Just as long as we get away from California.
What have you got against California?
Oh, just that Dan Basher lives there now.
Dan Basher?
Yeah, you remember that tough railroad dicker was chasing me when I fell off that freight? Oh, he's the toughest bull in the business.
Hey, you're not afraid of him now, are you?
No, of course not. Oh, only the grapevine says he's kind of sick, see, and he might be entering the spirit world any time now. I wouldn't want to run into him again if he did. He's got a grudge against me. Hey, you know, I just thought of something.
What?
Well, right at first, Louise probably won't be able to see me or to hear me, see? On account of a family ghost is only visible to the household. You get me?
Yes, but I don't understand
Well, as soon as you're married, she'll be part of the household, and then she can see me. Until then, no.
as soon as it gets dark, huh, chum?
3 days ago, we reached Santa Monica. I rented parking space in an auto camp and immediately phoned Louise.
Melvin, darling, I'm so glad you're here. I've been worried not hearing from you.
Oh, I'll explain all about that. When can I come and see you?
Well, I better come see you first, Melvin. You see, my uncle isn't well, and the doctor said he must have quiet. I'll be there in an hour.
I hurried back to the trailer and tried to clean it up. Spike Higgins' ghost lay on a bunk and watched me cynically.
Hey, take it easy, Melvin. You're no good at housework. You know, this place needs a woman's touch.
Now, listen, you. You've got to promise not to frighten Louise.
I told you, Melvin. She won't even know I'm here.
I certainly hope not. That would ruin everything. Here she comes now. Coming, darling.
Melvin.
Louise. Oh, here, let me help you in.
Oh, thank you, Melvin. So this is it. The trailer you wrote me about.
Uh-huh, darling. Look, here's the stove, and an icebox, and a built-in bar.
A bar?
Uh-huh.
Oh, now, Melvin, you know I disapprove of spirits.
I resent that.
Be quiet.
Why, Melvin.
Oh, excuse me, darling. I wasn't talking to you.
Well, then who were you talking to?
Oh, it's hard to explain. Look, Louise, here's a writing desk that folds into the wall, and a regular easy chair.
Well, it's very nice, Melvin, but all the same, we're not taking any spirits along on our honeymoon, bar or no bar.
Oh, she got a surprise coming to her.
I said to be quiet.
Melvin, how can you talk to me like that?
Come on, show her who's boss, Melvin.
I told you to shut up.
Melvin! I won't stay here and be insulted. You can telephone me when you're ready to apologize.
With that, Louise stormed out. That evening, I had to plead with her on the telephone for half an hour before she would consent to let me drive out and see her at her home.
Oh, really, Melvin, you were very rude this afternoon.
Oh, I'm sorry, darling. I'm overwrought. I apologize.
Well, you do look rather haggard, Melvin. And the way your hair stands on end, you really should do something about it.
I wish I could. Louise, how soon can we get married?
Well, I don't know. It depends on Uncle Dan.
Uncle Dan?
Uncle Dan Basher, my mother's brother. He's very ill. The doctor just gives him a few more days.
Your uncle is Dan Basher, who used to be a railroad detective?
Why, yes.
And he's dying?
I'm afraid so, Melvin. But you needn't look so pleased about it.
Oh, sorry, darling. Look, I must talk to him now.
Oh, but the doctor said he can't.
Just for a minute, darling. It's very important.
Well, maybe, just for a minute. Come this way. This is his door. Uncle Dan?
Yeah?
Do you feel strong enough to talk?
What about?
Well, it's Melvin, my fiancé. He wants to meet you.
Send him in.
Come in, Melvin.
Oh, thank you, Louise. Look, I must speak to your uncle in private.
Oh, but Melvin...
I'll explain later. That's a good girl.
Really,
thank you, Louise.
Good work. I can never get rid of her. What do you want to marry Louise for, anyway?
Oh, I love her.
It's a pretty poor excuse for getting married. She's like her mother, my sister. The reason I spent all my life on the railroad.
Well, that's what I want to talk about, sir. Do you remember a certain Spike Higgins?
Do I remember him? If I could ever get my hands on him. You know him?
I know his ghost. He's haunting my trailer.
He is, huh? I'd certainly like to meet up with him.
Oh, I'd certainly like you to. He's outside now. My trailer is parked at the curb.
Well, in that case, I was figuring on postponing the event for a few days. But for the privilege of meeting up with Spike Higgins' ghost.
Yes?
Lad, go outside and wait. I'll be out in a couple of minutes. In the spirit.
I made some excuse to Louise and hurried out to the trailer. Spike Higgins' ghost was lolling on my bunk.
Oh, out so soon, Melvin? What's the matter?
Oh, nothing, Spike. Nothing.
You
you're up to something. What is it?
Nothing, I tell you. Oh, relax, Spike. Relax.
I got a funny feeling. Uh-oh, someone's coming.
What do you mean, someone?
Another spook. He's coming in here.
Hello, Spike.
Dan Basher.
In the spirit, Spike. I've been waiting for this meeting for a long time.
Oh, no, Melvin, you double-crossed.
After him. Quick, Mr. Basher.
Right, you're out, lad.
I rushed outside. 3 blocks away, I saw a long freight train puffing away. Spike Higgins' ghost was racing for it with Dan Basher's spirit gaining on him. For the first time in a week, I felt happy again.
Melvin.
Louise.
Melvin. Uncle Dan. He's gone.
Yes, I know he is.
You know? Well, what do you mean?
Well, I just saw him running for that freight train.
You saw Uncle Dan running for a freight train?
Oh, I certainly did. Wonderful fellow, your uncle.
Well, Melvin, are you mad?
Mad? Not a bit. I am as happy as a lark.
Well, you must be out of your mind. Here, poor Uncle Dan has just... Oh, Melvin, and you just stand there laughing about it. Laughing!
But Louise, you don't understand.
Oh, I understand all too well. You want to break our engagement.
Hiya, Melvin. So you want to get rid of me, do you?
I certainly do.
There, I knew it. I just knew it.
Louise, darling.
Oh, just like a dame, always weeping.
Will you shut up? Isn't there any way to get rid of you?
Well, there certainly is. Goodbye, Melvin McGraw, forever.
Louise.
Oh, never mind, Melvin. You've always got me.
Well, that's my story. I'm a desperate man. Louise sent me back my ring, and I'm stuck with Spike Higgins' ghost. I should have known he'd outsmart Dan Basher. He left Dan's spirit hunting the freight train for him and came straight back to me. Now I'll never get rid of him. I'm just a shadow of my former self. I can't get a job. Oh, look. Do any of the radio stations carrying my story need a good sound effects man for mystery programs? Oh, with me and Spike Higgins' ghost working together, we can guarantee authentic effects. Here, look, we'll give you a demonstration. Spike, let's have the creaking door. Now, the fatal warning.
Are you prepared to meet your maker?
Now, the dog howling in the cemetery.
This is the mysterious traveler again. Dear me, what an odd story Meldrin had to tell. Really, I don't know whether to take it seriously or not. A haunted train. It would be just the thing for my summer vacation. I do know a haunted telephone booth where I make all my calls. Oh, but I'm just joking. There are no such things as ghosts. Are there, Spike?
Oh, of course there ain't. Well, the whole idea is ridiculous.
You see? Oh, you have to get off here? I'm sorry. But I'm sure we'll meet again. I take this same train every week at this same time.
You have just heard The Mysterious Traveler. And now you can also enjoy other tense and dramatic stories of The Mysterious Traveler in the June issue of The Mysterious Traveler magazine. In our cast were James Stevens, Larry Haynes, Bill Zuckert, and Shirley Blank, with Maurice Tarplin starred in the title role. Music is under the direction of Emerson Buckley and was composed by Richard DuPage. This program came from New York. The dramatized stories of crime and the events leading up to the capture of the perpetrator are the order of the day on True Detective Mysteries. These stories are based on actual police file cases and have an air of authenticity seldom captured by a crime program. So, for the best in mystery listening, Make a date to tune in True Detective Mysteries every Sunday over most of these stations.
This program was transcribed especially for presentation to the West Coast audience at this hour. Listen again next week at this same time for Mysterious Traveler. And stay tuned now for Let George Do It, heard over most of these same stations. This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.